Hello and welcome to Apple Guide. Today on Apple Guide we will be setting up Boot Camp Assistant on macOS. But first, what is Boot Camp Assistant? Boot Camp Assistant is a pre-installed application that has been included in macOS since macOS Tiger. This helps to install a full copy of Microsoft Windows onto another partition. So when you start up your computer holding the Option key, you'll have two options, macOS and WindowsOS. If you're interested in running macOS and WindowsOS at the same time, then you should look into parallels. So let's get started. The first thing you have to do is download a copy of Microsoft Windows. But even before you do that, you must check your system requirements to see which version of WindowsOS will work with your Mac. To do this, click the Check System Requirements link that can be found in the description. This link will take you to Apple's website where you can choose a version of Windows you would like to run and see if your Mac is compatible. Now that you know what version of Windows OS works on your Mac, you can buy and download a copy of it. As of October 2016, Microsoft only sells Windows 10 on their online store. Click the link in the description to buy and download Windows 10. If your Mac doesn't support Windows 10, check places like eBay and Craigslist to find your version of Windows OS that is compatible with your Mac. Once you have obtained your version of Windows OS, you need to now download the ISO file by clicking the link in the description below. Then choose your version of Windows OS. If you are installing Windows 10, Microsoft recommends that you download the Windows 10 Anniversary Update. Windows 10 does not require you to purchase a product license, but instead, you will be running an unregistered version of it. The only differences that I have found is that Windows will nag you to buy a copy and you will be unable to change your desktop pictures and other personalized settings. If you are installing Windows 8.1, you'll be required to type in your product key later in the setup. And finally, if you are installing Windows 7, you will be required to type in your product key before you are able to download the ISO file. Now that you have downloaded a copy of Windows, your computer is now ready to set up Boot Camp. To open Boot Camp Assistant, go to Finder, Applications, Utilities, and Boot Camp Assistant. Or you can do a spotlight search by clicking the magnifying glass in the top right corner and typing in Boot Camp Assistant. Read the introduction and then click Continue. Now click the Choose button and navigate to your Windows Download ISO file. Underneath the ISO image path, use the sliders to choose how big you want your new Windows partition to be. Keep in mind that you cannot change this size later. Then hit the Install button. Now your Mac will download the needed support files. Click the Restart button when the download is complete and you will boot up into your new Windows OS partition. After your computer restarts, the Windows Setup Wizard should appear. Follow the steps to set up your version of Windows. You might have trouble connecting to the internet or using any other wireless connected devices. If you run into this problem using the setup, just skip the step. Once the Windows setup is complete, you should be taken to your new desktop. Once you have been taken to the desktop of your new Windows OS, don't click anything or change any settings. Wait until the Boot Camp Assistant pop-up appears. Follow the steps through the wizard. This wizard will install all the appropriate drivers for other connected devices like printers, mice, keyboards, Wi-Fi cards, Ethernet cards, and anything else you may have connected, whether interior or exterior. Once you have completed the wizard, you will be required to restart your computer. Then once your computer restarts, your Windows OS is ready to use. After setting up Boot Camp Assistant, Boot Camp will become your default startup disk. To change this, go into System Preferences, then click on the Startup Disk Preference pane. Then click the lock in the bottom left-hand corner and then type in your password. Now you can choose which disk you would like to boot up in. WindowsOS and macOS use two different drive formats, which means you cannot directly copy data from OS to OS. So here are four alternatives. The first method is to divide your hard drive again and create a shared partition that both OSs can understand. To do this, boot up your Mac into recovery mode by restarting it and holding Command R. When you get to the macOS Utilities dialog box, click on Disk Utility and then Continue. Now that you're in Disk Utility, select your hard drive from the left menu and click on Partition on the top menu. Now you should see a pie chart showing how your drive is split up. Select the part of your drive that you want to split in half and click the plus button underneath the pie chart. Then on the right side, edit the partition's information by giving it a name and a size. Click the Format drop-down and choose ExFat from the options. Once you have finished these changes, click the Apply button. You will then get a pop-up that will ask you to confirm the settings you have just made. Read it over carefully and then click the Partition button when you are ready. Your new settings will then be applied and you can restart your computer to whichever partition you choose. The second method is to use an external drive. To do this, plug in your drive, go to Applications, Utilities, Disk Utility. Select the drive from the left column and click on Erase. Then name your new drive, format it as ExFat, and click Erase. The third method is to use online storage. There are many places like Dropbox, OneDrive, iCloud Drive, and Google Drive that you can purchase storage from and use on both OSs to move files. The fourth method is to use a network attached server, or NAS. A NAS is an external hard drive which sometimes comes with its own OS that can be connected to from any computer that's connected to the network. They come with all sorts of sizes, capacities, and uses. If you still have any questions, ask me in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at AppleGuideWeb, and be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube so you can stay up to date with the latest. Thanks for watching and see you next time.